When most people hear Africa, they imagine a single place, one land, one people, one story. But the truth is astonishingly different. Africa is home to more than 3,000 distinct ethnic groups. That means thousands of ways of living, thousands of traditions, thousands of stories unfolding every day. From the deserts of the north to the forests of the center, from the mountains of the east to the coasts of the west and south, Africa is the most diverse home humanity has ever known. And to understand that diversity, we need to leave behind the idea of one Africa, and instead step into the lives of its peoples. Our journey begins in the far north, across deserts and river valleys where ancient roots run deep. Picture a caravan snaking its way across the Sahara at dusk. The wind lifts waves of golden sand. At the front rides a Tuareg guide, his face wrapped in indigo cloth that glows violet under the sun. The Tuareg have moved this way for centuries, carrying salt, guiding travelers, singing poems under the stars that map the desert better than any compass. But life here isn't only about survival. Around the fire at night, Tuareg families brew strong green tea, poured in 3 rounds, the first bitter as life, the second sweet as love, the third soft as death. Each sip carries philosophy, a reflection on existence itself. To the west, Amazigh women weave rugs dyed in ochres and reds, marked with geometric patterns. Each design is a message, a symbol for protection, fertility, or luck. Passed down through generations, these textiles are more than art. They are stories told in thread. And in Nubian villages along the Nile, weddings unfold over several days. Women paint their hands with henna, musicians play tambourines and flutes, and entire communities join in song and dance. The Nile, timeless and steady, flows through it all, reminding them that culture here is not a relic of the past, but a living current. Contrast this with life only a few hundred miles south, where rainforests and grasslands replace desert. 2 peoples, 2 environments, 2 ways of life, but each rooted in the same instinct: to endure and to celebrate survival with beauty. Further east, identity is written on the body, in ritual, and in the land itself. At a Maasai coming-of-age ceremony, young men leap high into the air in rhythmic dance. Their red shukas ripple with each jump, while elders chant blessings and children mimic the moves with laughter. For the Maasai, cattle are sacred. Milk, blood, and meat nourish their bodies, while rituals and songs tie their lives to the herds. In Ethiopia, Oromo communities gather under sycamore trees for Gada assemblies. Elders debate justice and leadership in public, with decisions witnessed by the entire community. It's democracy woven into tradition, a reminder that governance here has roots as deep as the soil. On the Swahili coast, Zanzibar's stone town comes alive at dusk. Market stalls spill over with cloves, cinnamon, cardamom, and coconut. The call to prayer drifts through narrow alleys, mixing with the scent of spiced rice. Swahili poetry, recited by lantern light, carries metaphors as layered as the Indian Ocean trade that gave birth to the culture. In the Ethiopian highlands, the sound of church bells at dawn calls worshippers to liturgy sung in Ge'ez, an ancient language kept alive through song. Here, faith is not abstract, but woven into the rhythm of daily life. And yet, modern shifts shape this cradle too. Nairobi today is a city of 9 million people, where Kikuyu, Luo, Somali, and Maasai identities mix in buses, offices, and universities. A Maasai herder may send his child to a Nairobi school, where English is taught alongside Swahili, a blend of old pastoral pride and modern urban ambition. If East Africa is the cradle of peoples, then West Africa is the heartbeat, where rhythm, art, and community spill into every corner of life. In Nigeria, the Osun-Osogbo festival gathers thousands. Worshippers dressed in white carry offerings into the sacred grove, dancing to drums that echo through the forest. The goddess Osun is honored with singing, clapping, and processions to the riverbank. For the Yoruba, the divine is not separate from life. It moves in rhythm with the drum. Among the Igbo, masquerades transform villages into theaters. Men in towering masks spin through the streets, moving like spirits from another world. Children chase after them with a mix of fear and delight. The masquerade is not just entertainment. It is the living presence of ancestors, a reminder that the dead walk beside the living. The Ashanti of Ghana hold ceremonies around the Golden Stool, believed to hold the soul of the entire nation. Drums beat royal rhythms, chiefs parade in gold ornaments, and the stool remains untouchable, a sacred symbol of unity. And then there are the Fulani, whose migrations stretch across more than a dozen countries. During the Garawal festival, young Fulani men paint their faces with red ochre and white clay, lining their teeth with dazzling smiles. They sing poetic verses, competing for the attention of women who judge them on beauty, charm, and endurance. For the Fulani, identity is poetry lived in motion. But the contrasts in West Africa are as striking as its unity. In Lagos, skyscrapers cast shadows on crowded markets, where Yoruba chants rise with drum beats. In rural northern Nigeria, Hausa villages still revolve around farming, herding, and community gatherings under baobab trees. Two worlds, modern and traditional, coexisting within a single country, and through music, these worlds converge. Afrobeats stars like Burna Boy and Wizkid mix Yoruba proverbs with global beats, exporting West African identity to dance floors in London, New York, and Tokyo. Griots with chorus once preserved the memory of kings. Now their rhythms echo in global pop charts. From the savannas and drum beats of the West, we move into the deep forests of the center, where the canopy itself becomes an instrument. Enter the Congo Basin, a rainforest so vast it seems without end. Here, identity is tied to the rhythm of the forest itself. At night, forest communities sing in polyphonic harmonies, layered voices that overlap like birdsong, each singer weaving a line until the whole becomes a living canopy of sound. The music rises and falls with the crackling fire, echoing the mystery of the forest that shelters them. In villages of the Luba, elders carve stools with intricate designs. Each carving is not only art, but a political symbol, carrying the memory of kingship and clan identity. The Congo people keep alive rituals that once stretched across an empire. Circular cosmograms drawn in sand symbolize the cycle of life and death, the sun rising and setting, ancestors watching from beyond. These symbols later traveled across the Atlantic, hidden in quilts, dances, and songs of enslaved descendants in the Americas. Daily life here is shaped by the forest's bounty. Children learn to identify medicinal plants before they learn to read. Hunters walk silently with poisoned arrows, while women cultivate cassava in clearings cut from the trees. And yet, even here, modern shifts arrive. Young Congolese rap about city struggles in Lingala and French, mixing ancient rhythms with hip-hop beats. A forest child who once learned hunting songs may now carry a smartphone, watching videos that blend tradition with global culture. Contrast is everywhere. A sacred forest ritual one day, a bustling Kinshasa street market the next. And as the rainforest gives way to grasslands and deserts, another story unfolds. One that stretches from humanity's first voices to today's global stages. In the Kalahari, a San elder bends low over a footprint in the sand. With a glance, he reads it. The animal, its direction, its speed, how long ago it passed. Knowledge gathered not from books, but from generations of memory, taught in whispers around fires lit under starlit skies. Among the Zulu, ceremonies begin with drums that roll like thunder. Dancers stomp, shields rise, and voices rise in call and response. Once symbols of warrior unity, these performances today inspire pride in a people who endured the wounds of apartheid, but never lost their rhythm. In Zimbabwe, Shona sculptors chip patiently at stone. Figures of spirits and ancestors emerge from the rock, echoing the walls of Great Zimbabwe, whose ruins still stand as testament to a civilization of builders and traders. And in Namibia, Herero women walk through villages in dresses of bright fabric, their horn-shaped headpieces towering like crowns. A style once forced by colonial rulers has been reclaimed and remade into a proud symbol of survival. But Southern Africa is also Johannesburg, where Zulu, Sotho, and Xhosa rhythms meet house and jazz in clubs that pulse until sunrise. It is Cape Town, where Afrikaners, colored communities, and indigenous Khoisan each tell competing and overlapping stories of belonging. It is a land where tradition and modernity are not opposites, but intertwined strands of identity. Africa's peoples are not frozen in time. In Lagos, young designers remix traditional Ankara prints with sneakers and streetwear. In Nairobi, rappers switch between English, Swahili, and Sheng in a single verse, their lyrics bridging villages and megacities. In Johannesburg, house music fuses with Zulu rhythms, turning ancestral beats into nightclub anthems. In the diaspora, African identities continue to evolve. Somali restaurants in Minnesota serve spiced sambusas to locals. Ghanaian kente cloth lights up graduation ceremonies in the US Nigerian Nollywood films are streamed in London flats. The 3,000 peoples of Africa have become global voices, reshaping identity far beyond the continent. Contrast is what makes Africa vivid. The San and the Maasai live in environments worlds apart, yet both tie identity to cattle and land. The Yoruba and the Ashanti revere divine stools and shrines, while the Tuareg and Fulani find meaning in endless movement. Across the continent, diversity takes unique forms, yet it echoes shared human themes of survival, faith, and belonging. To understand Africa's peoples is to understand that diversity is not chaos. It is resilience. It is creativity. Each group holds knowledge of desert, forest, mountain, or city. Each carries philosophies of community, spirituality, and survival. Together, they form the richest human chorus on Earth. And this is not just about Africa. It is about us all. If Africa shows anything, it is that difference does not weaken. It strengthens. It endures. So let us ask, what does it mean to be Igbo, Zulu, or Somali today? What does it mean to be African in Lagos or Nairobi, and African in London or New York? What does it mean to live in a world that still tries to flatten this mosaic into one story? The world often prefers to see Africa as one thing, but Africa resists. It insists on being many. Because in the Tuareg tea ceremony, in the Maasai dance, in the Yoruba drumming, in the San's whispered clicks, in the Herero dress. We don't just see difference. We see humanity itself, reflected back in thousands of forms. One continent, 3,000 peoples, infinite stories. Africa is not a single note. It is a chorus still singing, still shaping the future of humanity.